Hey guys, I'm Jessica from Studio Quirk. Today I'm going to give you a tour of my handmade wardrobe. I made everything I'm wearing and everything on this rack. So let me start with one of my favorite pieces. This is a quilted jacket that took me over 120 hours. I made up the quilting design, but the pattern I used is the Tamarack jacket from Grainline Studios, which I'll link below. And this was really nice. I mean, in the middle of a pandemic, it was so nice to sit down and focus on something that wasn't the news or the election. And I'm just I really love how this one turned out. Next is a classic jean jacket. I actually think I made this last year. This is Simplicity 8845 from Mimi G. And this is just your classic jean jacket, and I've worn it a lot. I have distressed it a lot, washed it a lot, and I think it's just going to keep getting better and better with time. Okay, I actually made this as a costume, but I do hope I can figure out a way to wear it in real life. The pattern is based on a 1903 pattern. It's from Truly Victorian. And then this yoke here is actually the hem of a skirt I got from Goodwill. So it was a really fun project to be creative and reuse materials. Alright, this one's pretty fun. This started out as a dark chambray shirt, and then I bleached it. And it is such a mashup of patterns, I don't have just one to tell you. I made some parts myself, like the bib, and then I used different sleeves, different cuffs from all different things. And you'll notice this one is not pressed because I'm lazy. No, I'm not lazy. But I just wanted to have it be a more relaxed kind of shirt, so I didn't want to go through and make it like super pressed every time I wore it. So, my chambray shirt this year. I'm a big fan of chambray in general for a wardrobe. Okay, this beauty. I got this fabric at a thrift store, and I held on to it for a long time thinking maybe I would do a costume out of it, and then decided I like it so much that I want to wear it all the time. And I don't think it's showing up on camera as beautiful as it is in real life, but it again is a mashup of patterns, so I don't have one to give you as a reference, but this was one of the first things I put my little tag into, and I love bias binding, so this is a good one. Okay, now the next three ones I'm going to show you are actually all the same pattern with some variations. So this is the McCalls 7977 that I've been making like crazy. The most recent one is this buffalo plaid, which you just have to love. It's so Christmassy, but also great for January. And it was a real, can you see? I did a lot of matching in this one, which I think is a good challenge for a pattern that you're already pretty proficient at. And I added the little ruffles at the neckline, which is actually what I had intended to do with this guy. This is an old skirt I got from Goodwill, and I had to piece it a lot to make it work, but little puff sleeve, and then the trim, I found it at a garage sale. I got 4 packets of trim that had vintage wrappings, and it was like maybe $2. So this one definitely has like the Princess Diana vibe, which I'm into because I just watched The Crown. And then this one happened after I found this fabric. It's from the Kismet collection, designed by Sharon Hollard. And it's just such good fabric. It reminds me of like 1970s bed sheets in the best way possible. And it's the fabric itself is really beautiful hand. And then the trim I used on this one was all clearance at Joann's. So it was just really fun to sew, really fun to make, and I love how this turned out. Okay. On to short sleeves. Well, some short sleeves. Okay, this is, let me see, Simplicity 8839. And it's just like a little basic shirt, which is nice. I think I'd like to make this also out of some gauze or double gauze fabric, and do the full long puff sleeve. but it's a really, really simple pattern, and I think a pretty good beginner project. I did and do on a lot of these things that have bust darts, I lower the bust about 1.5 inches to reflect my own silhouette. So no major changes there, but okay, here's one I made last year, but I get so much use out of it, and it's really good to wear under cardigan. It's just a really easygoing shirt. This is McCalls 7359, and I've made it up in some other fabrics. It just wears so easy. I did modify this shoulder seam by doing some pleats instead of gathers. I just really like this. It's a really easy top. Okay, here's another top I've made multiple times in multiple fabrics. This one is McCalls 7387. And this is just like, you know, a very humble homespun gingham, but I think it actually wears really chic. I'm very into gingham, and you know, gingham to me was always something we used in school when we were learning how to sew in a very, very precise way because of how you match up the checks. And now it's very popular in modern fashion, so you know, it's a good exercise on being precise, and it's also stylish. So this is something I wear year round. I'll put this under a sweater or cardigan. Here's a top I made, a flannel button down, and it does need some fixes because I put snaps in it, and the snaps just are not heavy duty enough for this thicker cotton flannel, so I'm going to replace those, take them all out and put in buttonholes. This is a Simplicity button down, and it's snapped. This is a great standard classic button down shirt. Again, I lowered the bust in this one. I did some things like put the back yoke on the bias and the front pockets are on the bias. Those are stabilized just to make sure they won't stretch out. But I wore this practically a whole week while I was camping. It's a great pattern. Okay, now this shirt I'm wearing and these next two shirts are my foray into the world of knitwear. This was a Goodwill top that I used my own pattern to put together. Ditto for this. It's a Goodwill dress that I remade. And then this guy is just like a standard scoop neck tee. And I'm really learning on knits. I am by no means an expert. I think they can maybe pass as store-bought from a bit of a distance, but the good thing about this for me is that it gives me room to grow and it gives me a challenge. So I'm going to keep making knits. We'll see where I can go with that. And a different kind of knit, which I would never store in a hanger, but just for the sake of showing you guys, is this sweater. It's the Koivua, which I'm probably mispronouncing, sweater from Boyland Knitworks. And I knit it in 2 weeks because I was so addicted to it. I love doing color work. And it's a really lovely sweater to wear. I love the crop length. And I wear this a bunch. So those are my tops for this year. You'll notice I don't have any skirts or dresses. And really it's because they just don't make sense for my life as a mainly stay-at-home person these days. I would like to make some dresses. Skirts, I don't know. I still have most of my vintage clothes from my past life at what I wore. I'm not buying skirts, of course, but they're just not practical for me, and I do have them. And even though I focus on trying to wear handmade, I'm not going to just throw away clothes that are still good. If I think I might wear it, I keep it, or else I donate it. So, okay, let's move on to pants. These didn't turn out as great as I wanted, but it was worth a try to do a corduroy wide leg. All of my pants are the Nielsen Dawn Jean because it is an excellent pattern. I've made it like 15 times. So I tried this in corduroy, and the corduroy is just a little too lightweight for it to make a whole lot of sense. So I'm going to try again with something a bit thicker, and we'll see how that turns out. Here is the same modification of that jean. I did a front patch pocket, I did the exposed buttonholes, I skipped belt loops, and I did the wide leg view D all the way to the floor, and I love these jeans. You know, because they're a little bit bigger than my other pair of wide legs, which I also love. These are classic 5 pocket, a cropped wide leg, but they're a little tight right now, so I usually reach for these, or the ones I'm wearing. And then lastly, these were so fun, and I think they turned out so cool. This is from Folkwear patterns, and Fokwear patterns, and it's like a 1940s sailor pant, and I think they're so cute. I use vintage buttons. I use leftover Kirsten fabric for the lining, and then the back has this cute lace-up detail. And before anyone comments, no, they do not take forever to get off. They take a little bit longer to put back on, but in terms of getting to the bathroom in plenty of time, it's not an issue. So this is my handmade wardrobe. I love it. I love every piece. I love when people ask me where I got something and I can say I made it. But a lot of times people don't, because I do think it blends in nicely with any kind of store-bought clothing. So this is what I made in 2020, plus all my summer stuff. I can't wait to get started on 2021. I have a new dress form coming, so I'm going to be making a lot of my own patterns, but I'll tell you more about that later. Anyways, if you like this video, or you want to know more about sewing, or see my fashion illustration, I'd love for you to subscribe to this channel, or like this post, or comment, because I love words of affirmation. Or you can follow me on my Instagram at Jessica J. Quirk.